Welcome back to Gentle Calm. This is a quiet space for reflection, grounding, and slowing the mind when life doesn't slow down. You don't need to fix anything while you're here. You don't need to arrive at answers or conclusions. Just listen. Let the words meet you where you are. Today's reflection is a simple reminder, one that's easy to forget when the mind feels busy or overwhelmed. You don't need to figure everything out right now. There is a quiet pressure many of us live under. It doesn't always announce itself clearly. It doesn't always feel dramatic. Often, it feels practical, responsible, necessary. A pressure to understand what's happening, to know what comes next, to have a plan, even when the situation itself is still unfolding. It can feel like if we just think a little harder or analyze things a little longer, something will finally click. Clarity, certainty, relief. But instead of clarity, the mind stays active. Instead of relief, the questions multiply, and the sense of urgency doesn't ease. It grows. You may notice this pressure showing up as familiar thoughts. I should have this figured out by now. I need to know what to do next. I can't relax until this makes sense. Once I understand this, I'll feel better. These thoughts often sound reasonable, even responsible, but beneath them is usually fatigue. Mental fatigue from carrying too much at once, emotional fatigue from holding unanswered questions without rest. The truth is, most moments in life don't require full understanding. They require presence, and presence doesn't ask you to solve the future. It asks you to be here, right now. The mind often pushes for answers because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. Not dangerous, just uncomfortable. And when we're tired, discomfort can feel urgent. So the mind tries to protect you by searching for certainty. It scans, it replays, it analyzes, not because something is wrong, but because it wants safety. But not everything becomes clear through effort. Some things become clear through time, some through distance, and some only after you stop pressing them. There is a difference between necessary thinking and compulsive thinking. Necessary thinking has a direction. It serves a purpose. It gathers information, makes a decision, and then releases. Compulsive thinking feels urgent, but it doesn't actually move you forward. It keeps you mentally busy, but emotionally tense. You may notice the same questions appearing again and again without new insight. You may notice your mind revisiting the same possibilities, the same worries, the same what-ifs. When that happens, it's often a sign that your system doesn't need more answers. It needs a pause. A pause is not avoidance. It's not giving up. It's creating space. You are allowed to set a question down without abandoning it. You are allowed to say, I don't need to know this yet. You are allowed to let something remain unfinished. Life doesn't unfold all at once, even though the mind sometimes wants it to. You don't need a full plan. You don't need a final decision. You don't need to know how everything will work out. You only need to know what's manageable right now, and sometimes even that can wait. If you notice an urge to mentally rush ahead, it can be helpful to gently bring your attention back to your body. Notice what's happening there. Is there tightness, restlessness, a sense of pressure or urgency? These sensations are not signs that you're failing. They're signals that your nervous system may be overloaded. When the system is overloaded, thinking louder doesn't help. It often makes things worse. What helps instead is softening. That might mean stepping away from the thought for a while, letting your attention rest on something simple and present, the feeling of your breath, the sensation of sitting, the sound of the room around you, not as a technique, not as something to do correctly, just as permission to pause. You don't need to solve your life in one sitting. You don't need to understand everything before you're allowed to feel calm. Calm is not a reward for having answers. It's a state you can return to, even when questions remain open. Some clarity only comes after pressure is removed. Some decisions become obvious once the urgency fades. And some worries lose their grip when you stop giving them constant attention. You are not behind because things feel unclear. You are not failing because you don't have everything mapped out. You're not broken because you're still figuring things out. You're human. And humans move through life in phases, not conclusions. There are times for action, times for rest, times for understanding, and times for simply being where you are. Right now, it is enough to be here, to notice your breathing, to let your shoulders soften, to allow this moment to exist without asking it to explain itself. You don't need to extract meaning from everything. You don't need to resolve every question today. You can trust that clarity doesn't disappear just because you stop chasing it. It returns when the mind is ready. For now, you don't need to figure everything out. You can let today be incomplete. You can let questions remain unanswered. You can move forward gently, one moment at a time. As this reflection comes to a close, remember that you're allowed to slow down. Not everything needs your attention all at once. If this moment felt helpful, you're welcome to stay with gentle calm for more quiet reflections like this. And if you'd like to explore these ideas further in writing, you can find Gentle Reflections on Substack. The link is in the description whenever you feel ready. If this video helped in any small way, a simple like helps this calm reach someone else who may need it. Take care and move gently through the rest of your day.